Welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the best Japanese collectibles and figurines straight out of Japan, and you can find out more details about us in the description of this video, including our Facebook page and our eBay store, including where you can buy these figures, which are the Shanks Master Stars piece on the left. So this is actually a Master Stars piece, or MSP, and then we have the Ace King of Artists and the Luffy King of Artists. So they're actually different series, but they all look pretty good together, so I thought I would do them all as one video. So let's get straight into it. So as I said, this one, oops, let's just stand them up. Right, so we've got Shanks here, and he is about 25.5 centimeters, so he's pretty tall. So just as a comparison there with an iPhone 5 case, you can see that he is very tall. And the whole thing comes in, what you see there is 4 pieces. So you've got the lower half of the body, the top half of the body, and then the sword, which fits into his sash. And then the hilt of the sword is the other piece. Now you'll be wondering why that's missing, and I'll show you a bit later. And it actually was pretty hard to assemble or put together these. It was actually quite a tight fit, so I don't know if somebody's watching this video that also has this figure, they might know, because this is the, I mean, I've sold a lot of these and sent a lot of them out that unopened, but this is actually the first one I've put together, so I'm not sure. But just a really nice figure. I really like the toning throughout the figure, particularly on the shirt. It's kind of hard to show, but it's not just a nice clean white shirt. They've actually gone and sort of showed the dirt and the grime and everything, and it looks really piratey, really nice. And even on the sword, you know, you get some nice gold colouring there. And just overall a really nice figure. You can see the pattern on his pants there. And the feet, the sandals. And of course his left arm is missing, because that's when he saved Luffy, which we see through flashbacks. Now the reason that that is missing is that he actually does come with a cape. So that is the cape that can come with it, and you can just put that on and you can display him with or without the cape, as per the box. So you can see it actually conceals the left arm there. Pretty cool looking box actually with the lightning. But overall, just a really nice figure. Definitely would go well with the other Master Stars piece figures if you collect them. And it is a very popular line. But actually, I still think they should have had that complete. I don't know, maybe that's actually the design of the sword, actually, on second thought. Maybe that's just meant to be the design of it and not go all the way around. Because even with the cape, you'd be able to put it, because as you can see on the box, the cape doesn't really touch that part. So I don't know, that's an interesting one. I'd have to go back and watch the show and see what is the design of his sword. There you go. I didn't do my research. So here, actually, I'll start with this one first, because I kind of need to explain this one first. So you may be wondering, what is the King of Artists? And when this came out, which was in December 2014 in Japan, it was kind of a random release. So it's actually called the King of Artists series. And you'll see here it says, "Hey world," or in Japanese it says "Sekai, this is the prize." And I didn't know why it said that at the time, but if you actually read the really small writing, if I can get it on focus, you can pause this video and read it for yourself. And I'm not going to read it for you. If you actually go to the item page where we sell this, you can actually see we have written there what it actually says. But basically, there was a full color, I guess it was advertisement of One Piece that appeared in newspapers overseas. I think one was in Taiwan and the other was in America. And it was a drawing that Ichiro, or the creator of One Piece, did. And apparently it created a lot of interest in the series, and a lot of people started talking about this One Piece series. And so what the Banpresto decided to do was make a figure of it. And so this figure is basically a figure of that picture. And that's the story behind this series. So again, if you actually go to the eBay page where we sell this, you can actually see one of the images we have on that item page is the advertisement or that newspaper picture. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's what the box looks like. And it was actually, this is a really awesome figure. I'd probably say this is my personal favorite Luffy figure that's been created. And that's a big deal because, you know, there have been a lot of Luffy figures released, but it is just an amazing figure. It's about 215 millimeters. So again, just for comparison of size, so it is a pretty decent size. So it's kind of MSP size. I mean, obviously he's crouching here, so he's a bit shorter, but just a really nice figure. And you know, he just looks like he's ready to take on the world. And you can just see that sort of battle mode stance, everything's sort of blowing up and he's ready to do one of his attacks. You can see the detail on the hat, even down to the card that that Ace gives him. They even actually included that. You can see, I forget what they call that, the Vivre card. It started with V. It hasn't been mentioned in this series for a while. Well, I guess after you know what happens with Ace, it's not really that important. Oh, there's a bit of packaging I left there. So that just keeps the strap from, because that's a separate piece. And you can see the pants, you've got the pockets and all the detail on that, and even the bottom of the shoes. So really cool figure. One thing I don't like about this figure that a lot of people have picked up on is the face is, that's a bit too light. The face is actually quite pale, it's quite light, and yet the rest of the body is really sort of sun-worn. It's quite dark and quite toned. So if you really, I mean, if you notice it, it is quite noticeable, but he kind of would have looked a bit strange, I think, with a really dark face, and yet his body would have looked a bit strange if it was really bright. So, but I don't know, maybe they should have made the face just a bit darker and the rest of the body just a little bit lighter, and that wouldn't have been quite as noticeable. But I still think it looks okay. And this figure also actually comes with another piece, which is, it's just like broken tiles, I think it's meant to represent, and you just sort of put that around the foot. It doesn't actually attach. But again, if you go back to the box, you can see that's meant to represent the, yeah, just sort of breaking tiles or whatever. So you do get that piece as well. And then finally we have the Ace, and this is also part of the King of Artists, so it was a long time before they actually released some more figures. They did also release a Trafalgar Law, which I haven't reviewed yet, and that's a really cool looking figure as well. So I'm a big fan of this King of Artists series. I hope they keep making figures from it. And this is a very detailed, if you've got the Master Stars piece of Ace, you'll kind of know what to expect with all the detail, but I think this one just kind of took it to a new level. Just the detail that you see, you've got the band there, you've got the log pose, you've got his knife, so that's a separate piece. And all the detailing, the pants, the bottom of the shoes, look at that. Just so much detail there, just in something that you're not even going to see when it's displayed. So no corners cut. I like the paint job. It's a nice metallic on the red beads, and obviously his trademark hat, and that's also metallic. And you've got his tattoos, of course, and the bag that he uses, the belt. I kind of wish they didn't put him in this sitting stance, and I think even though he's sitting, even if he was kind of fully standing up, I think he's a bit smaller than the Luffy. But overall, everything else looks really good. It does actually come with a clear stand, but you don't need it. I guess that's just meant to go around the back. And I forgot to mention as well, Shanks actually also comes with a stand with his cape, so you can use that as well. But yeah, the other thing I don't really like about this figure is they put the copyright thing in a rather visible place. You can see it there. So, I mean, because he's not standing up, you can't really notice it, so it's not too bad. But if you do have it on a high shelf, it's just something that you'll see. I really wish they just put it somewhere around the back, and it's not the first time Banpresto have done that. So I'll just quickly show you the Ace box. So you can see it's a similar design to the Luffy one. And then there's the top with the gold toy animation sticker. And Ace, I don't know if I mentioned this, he's about 135 millimeters tall. So he's obviously shorter than the others. So again, there's just a comparison for size. But three fantastic figures, especially when you add the accessories like the cape and the tile thing there. I was a bit lazy, it was just easier for me to show you everything with them off. But yeah, three different figures from two different series, the Shanks Master Stars piece and then the Luffy and the Ace King of Artists. Really look great together as a set. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.